Africa Skills Week is an annual continental platform established to advance Africa's skills transformation agenda. Officially adopted by the African Union Ministers of Education and Training in 2024, it fosters dialogue, shares experiences, and coordinates action on skills development and employment across Africa. With a young and growing population, Africa's future hinges on building a skilled workforce ready for the jobs of tomorrow. African Skills Week 2025 was a critical event for understanding how the continent plans to bridge the skills gap, leverage the African continental free trade area, and turn its demographic dividend into a driver for inclusive industrial growth. It's a key step towards achieving the goals of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. The second Africa Skills Week 2025 is hosted by the Department of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, African Union Commission, supported by the government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia through the Ministry of Labor and Skills. African Skills Week 2025 served as a pivotal platform to mobilize action and accountability for implementing the Continental TVET Strategy 2025 to 2034 and harnessing the opportunities of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Accordingly, various partners of the week from all over the world took part in the week. Japan, as a long-standing partner of the African TVET, ascertained its strong will to persist dealing with Africa in the area to uplift the upcoming African destiny.
It is a great honor of me to participate in the second Africa Skills Weeks here at the historic Nelson Mandela Hall. First, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Your Excellency Gaspard Banyankimbona, the Commissioner for ST. Your tireless efforts in implementing the Continental TVET strategy are commendable and crucial for achieving skills for the industrialization of Africa. In the tradition of TICAD, Tokyo International Conference for African Development, which goes back to 30 years, Japan always prioritized African ownership and international partnership, focusing on human security by investing in people's capabilities. A shining example of Japan's cooperation is the Senegal-Japan Vocational Training Center, CFPT, a symbol of our cooperation in West Africa. Established in 1984, CFPT has trained over 7,000 mid-level technicians with an 84% employment rate, serving as a regional hub for 17 neighboring African countries. Another proud collaboration is Kaizen, a Japanese philosophy for quality and productivity improvement. Starting in Tunisia, it has expanded to 41 African countries, improving productivity for approximately 2,000 companies and nurturing 38,000 industrial human resources in the last 3 years.
On the other hand, the Republic of Germany has stood the strongest ally of Africa in areas such as TVET and industrial cooperation. Germany's presence in Africa has felt the entire continent when it comes to upgrading the technological aspect of the continent of Africa, as to what the representative of Germany underlined.
Allow me first to thank the government of Ethiopia and the African Union Commission for hosting this inspiring gathering. It is both an honor and a privilege for Germany to stand with you here at Africa Skills Week 2025, united by a shared belief in the power of skills, innovation, and partnership to shape the Africa of tomorrow. We meet at a defining moment. The world around us is changing rapidly, shaped by technology, the green transition, and global shifts that call for new thinking and new capacities. Yet amid this change, Africa holds something truly remarkable, a generation whose energy, creativity, and determination can transform challenge into opportunity. Germany has long believed that investing in people, in their education, in their skills, in their ideas, is the foundation of every nation's progress. Skills development is not simply a technical pursuit. It is a pathway to dignity, to inclusion, and to shared prosperity. That is why we have stood shoulder to shoulder with the African Union in advancing a continental vision for education and training. Together, we have helped to shape the continental strategy for technical and vocational education and training, which now guides the transformation of skills system across Africa. But strategies alone will not bring about the change we need. It is action that counts. Our joint efforts have put in place the fundamental building blocks to see this strategy translated into action, to promote the skills transformation agenda.
The People's Republic of China, with its strong presence in the continent of Africa, following the strict non-interventionist policy, has promised a lot of persistence trainings and skills development for various sectors of the communities in the African nations.
It's a great honor to attend the opening ceremony of the second edition of Africa Skills Week. On behalf of the mission of the People's Republic of China to the African Union, I would like to extend my warmest congratulations on the convening of this important event. The world today is undergoing profound changes unseen in a century. TVET is closely linked to economic and social development. Africa Skills Week is a timely and forward-looking initiative of the African Union and its member states to respond to those global changes. I believe the African Continental TVET Strategy 2025-34, represented by Commissioner, will chart the course for Africa's future TVET development. As a reliable friend and sincere partner of the African people, China attaches great importance to supporting Africa's industrialization and independent development through TVET cooperation. In 2023, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced the plan for China-Africa cooperation on talent development, under which China promised to train 500 principals and high-caliber teachers on vocational colleges, and 10,000 technical personnel with both Chinese language and vocational skills for Africa every year, and invite 20,000 government officials and professionals annually from African countries to participate in relevant workshops and seminars in China.
Regarding the public-private partnership, Japan has kicked off quite a lot of projects in Africa, like the Toyota company branch in the Republic of Kenya. The strict working discipline of Japan has been contributing a lot besides enhancing the technical skills of the youth in Africa.
Public-private cooperation is also very essential. Japanese private company like Toyota also contributes with the Toyota Academy in Kenya, offering technical training and employment opportunities to over 7,000 young people and women. Ladies and gentlemen, at the TICAD 9 that was held 2 months ago in Yokohama, Japan committed to developing 300,000 African people over the next 3 years. Notably, 30,000 individuals will be trained in AI and data science, empowering Africa's youth for digital transformation. This underscores Japan's trust and investment in Africa as a new global growth center. Here in Ethiopia, JICA, in partnership with the government and universities, launched a digital human resource development program in 2024. This program has already trained 5,000 digital professionals, half of whom are women. addressing youth unemployment, and fostering innovation. We will continue supporting equal access to quality skills development for all. Japan also committed to promote people-to-people exchange program between Africa and Japan, focusing on youth and women. We strongly believe in the future of Africa. Nothing will stop Africa to growing with the power of youth. Japan will work together. Japan will wish to grow together. Japan wish to remain your most reliable partner.
In turning vision into progress, which mostly is expected from Africa itself, Germany has been and is willing to contribute its fair share, as to the speaker on behalf of Germany. Germany, like the other partners, has a shared goal for Africa, which aims in enhancing and developing the skills of the young people of Africa.
Furthermore, Africa Skills Week stands as a living symbol of that action, a space where governments, educators, the private sectors, and young leaders come together to turn vision into progress. Our shared goal is clear: to equip Africa's young people with the skills that create opportunity, build resilience, and strengthen communities. To ensure that no one, not a single young woman, not a single rural learner, not a single displaced youth is left behind. And our goal is to deepen the partnerships that make this possible, partnerships grounded in trust, equality, and mutual respect. Germany remains fully committed to this journey, not as a benefactor, but as a partner. We will continue to support African institutions, governments, and innovators as they shape solutions that are locally owned and globally relevant. The story of Africa's rise will not be written elsewhere. It will be written here by its own people. And it will be a story of cooperation, courage, and creativity. As Agenda 2063 reminds us, Africa's destiny will be determined by a well-educated and skilled citizenry. Let us make this week a moment when ideas become commitments, and commitments become the building blocks of a prosperous, peaceful, and sustainable Africa. Germany is proud to walk this path with you as a friend, as a partner, and as a firm believer in the promise of Africa's youth.
The Forum on China-Africa Cooperation has leveraged the strong ties between the continent Africa and that of the People's Republic of China as to what the Chinese representative affirmed in his delivery.
Over the years, within the framework of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, China and Africa have jointly implemented the Future of Africa, a project for China-Africa cooperation on vocational education, co-established Luban workshops and centers for Chinese language and professional skills, implemented Chinese language plus vocational skills projects, and co-organized teacher training and skills competition. These efforts have helped Africa train over 300,000 practical professionals across 17 key sectors, contributing solid human resource support to Africa's modernization process. In the last 2 days, the Global Leaders Meeting on Women was successfully held in China. In his keynote address to the opening ceremony, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced new measures China will take to support global women's cause, including the establishment of a global center for women's capacity building. Tomorrow afternoon, the mission of China and the AUC will co-host a seminar titled China-Africa Cooperation on Supporting African Continent TVET Strategy 2025-34. You are warmly welcomed to attend. Looking ahead, China stands ready to work hand in hand with the EU and African countries to further deepen cooperation on education and skills development, help more young Africans master the golden key to employment, and contribute to realizing the grand vision of Agenda 2063.
The last day of the second Africa Skills Week 2025 was wrapped up with a communique presented on behalf of all the participant member states of Africa, as well as the stakeholders and partners who are willing to work under the framework of the Continental Skills Development Scheme.
The Africa Skill Week 2025, organized by the Africa Union in collaboration with the government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, was successfully held from 13 to 17 October 2025 at the Africa Union headquarters in Addis Ababa under the theme Power Africa's Industrial Future, Skill for Innovation, Growth and Sustainability. The event brought together more than 850 participants from Africa Union member states, regional communities, continental and international partners, industry leaders, TVET practitioners, academia, youth, women's and civil society organizations. The event served as a continental platform for the dialogue, learning, partnership building aimed at accelerating the transformation of Africa education and training ecosystem to meet the demand of the fourth industrial revolution and the green, blue and orange economy. It also addressed emerging priority around digitalization, artificial intelligence, green technology and innovation ecosystem to present Africans' youth for the future of work. Major highlights of the week was the official launching of Continental Technical and Vocational Education and Training Strategy 2025 to 2034, a flagship framework for the African Union designed to advance the skill revolution advanced under the Agenda 2063. The African We Want and the second 10 years implementation plan 2024 to 2033. The event also featured creative visits, marketplace and exhibition and the Youth Summit, which produced a youth declaration of skills for industrialization, capturing the aspiration, policy, priority, innovation, practice of the young African as a co-creators of the continent's future.
As the agenda and the strategy is launched today, skills is very important for Africa and skills is for opportunity. And in this Innovation Week, we brought our competitors, our innovators who have innovative ideas to showcase that TVET can make a difference. TVET can set a new bar and raise the bar in skills. And this is why we are here. This week is to embrace our skills, but to learn from others. It humbles us to be in Ethiopia. It humbles us to be in Addis Ababa, a very, very, very important capital of the world. And this is what makes it very significant for us. The proceedings is well observed. This is definitely a pace setter for TVET, for Africa, pace setter for Africa. And definitely from the speech, what makes us to think from the Honorable Minister's speech is surely to make sure that no one is left behind, that everybody gets onto the wagon, to change to be entrepreneurs, to enable our TVET graduates to be not job seekers, but to be employment creators. And definitely from her guidance, her excellency was that definitely we must get into manufacturing. That was standing out. Africa needs to not export the raw materials any longer. We have to do value addition, and for that, Africa needs to work hard, smart, and have the knowledge built into our economy. Definitely, and with the help of AI, this is where we can use that artificial intelligence to do the appropriate value addition in line with what the markets need out there. And this is where we can now customize and tailor-make our products so that we ship products that is relevant, current, and that is really needed. In quality, what we say, it's not about the quantity, but it's the quality. And Africa is having that opportunity. Everybody produces, everybody exports. But when it comes to quality, we must nurture quality of product, finishing a product, creating the necessary marketing, creating the necessary information related to any product that we develop so that the consumer is knowledgeable and that the consumer is informed and that the consumer can request for the product.
I am from Tesca Technologies in India, in a beautiful city, Jaipur. That's a UNESCO heritage site. And we manufacture and supply vocational training equipment for the science laboratories, renewable energy, IoT, Industry 4. So anything that bridges the gap between like skills for job. So we do the hands-on equipment for the learning and training. So I came as a delegate, so skills is something which is very close to our heart, and we are very active in Africa region. We work closely with ministries of education for their requirements, which is funded by World Bank, African Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank. India and Ethiopia have good relationships, and I see that a lot of teachers are from India, and Ethiopians have huge respect for those teachers because they have been shaped and built their career based on the education what has been provided, and the education level has been done fantastically by Indians teachers to Ethiopians.
Exactly is the second edition of the Africa Skills Week. The first edition you have organized it at Accra, Ghana. This year you organize it at Ethiopia, at Addis Ababa. The objective of this Africa Skill Week is to show that the competence what you want for the Africa to develop our country, to develop our continent, and you collaborate with the Ethiopian Minister of Labor. You so that this day is the opening ceremony, and after this opening ceremony, you have make some visit of the stand. You have see many instruments of Ethiopia. I think that this event is a good event, is a successful. You want to thank all of the organizer, particularly the Minister of Labor of Ethiopia and all of the government of Ethiopia for this effort and for the collaboration. The African Union regard is to push all the African member states, the African country, to develop this competence, to develop the competence of our children, to develop our instruments, to industrialize the country, and African to move to become an industrialized country, industrialized continent, and all of the country must move together with African Union, with Ethiopia, to do what you can to build Africa and to give for the children the competence what we want to have Africa, to have a good country, and to develop all of the country of Africa.
Reflection of the weeks are the 5 days. The 5 days program features a rich mix of plenary and parallel sessions, comparing, among others, ministerial dialogues, plenary sessions, thematic sites events, exhibition, and youth innovation showcases. These engagements provide holistic perspectives on how skills development can drive African industrialization's sustainable transformation. The official opening ceremony, graced by Her Excellency Mohammed Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of Africa Union Commission, Her Excellency Mufarat Kamil Ahmed, Minister of Labor and Skills of Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, and other senior Ethiopian officials reaffirmed the continent's collective commitment to make Africa a global hub for innovation and skilled talent. The high-level ministerial roundtable brought together ministers responsible for education and TVET, labor and industry from Ethiopia, the Gambia, Sahara Democratic Republic, the South Africa, to deliberate on the role of national leadership in driving TVET's reform. They underscored the need for stronger policy coherence, cross-sectoral coordination, and sustained investment in skills that supports Africa industrialization priority. The parliamentary voice session features members of the Parliament's Africa Parliament emphasize Parliament oversight and budgetary roles in ensuring sustainable financing, policy harmonization, and accountability for skills development outcomes. The Partnership for Continental Skills Development Dialogue provides a platform for the development partners, multilateral agencies, and the private sector leaders to share successful model of collaboration. Participants call for more harmonized cooperation aligned with AU's priority and for the shift from fragmented project-based intervention for programmatic, system-oriented, and result-driven partnership.
The Memorial Museum was our first stop yesterday morning. And immediately when you walk into the premises, you find history. You are connected to what Ethiopia had experienced and where Ethiopia is moving forward now to. And this is my first visit to Ethiopia, and for me it was touching based on Holy Land and really moving my spirit when I walked through the museum and to be touched. The museum, the Memorial Museum, was an excellent venue to start off with. The second one we visited was the Science Museum, and definitely to be showcased towards where Ethiopia is moving in technology. It was significant to be advised, to be informed, not just showing a picture, but also to complement, to say, this is what we are doing. This is how we generate our resources. This is how we manage our natural resources for future generations. And that makes it an excellent showcase of what is the ability and capability of the Ethiopian nation at large to be able to foster such futuristic outlook. Definitely that set the pace. We visited the Vocational Institute, the Federal Vocational Institute, and definitely it was also the program offering to have a PhD program in a vocational. That was excellent because we are not used to find PhD qualifications in such institutions. And even having a broad base, being informed that you have more than 3.5 million students in the TVET sector, it was amazing to learn that you have over 700 institutions, and this one was an excellent institute to showcase the technology, automotive technology, amongst others, instrumentation technology, which is very significant in the development, in the engineering. And this is what we are looking forward to partner with such institutions so that we can build our skills of our trainers and to learn from them. The optimization of the curriculum from a face-to-face compulsory curriculum to a blended learning curriculum, that is significant changes that was introduced during COVID and post-COVID, that the world had set new beacons of moving forward. Excellent how Ethiopia had managed during these situations and how they move forward, and we can definitely learn as a country, Namibia, from them.
I'm here for meeting new people, like networking, meet with new people who need equipment, like a lot of ministers I met, and then I could meet a lot of university professors, teachers who want to change the TVET and skill development prospect in Africa, and that is the reason I'm here, and it's fantastic. Like, this is my second day. Yesterday I was with Federal Education TVET, and it was fantastic. I could see the laboratories, I could see how they are shaping the future in Ethiopia. So I met with a lot of partners. I met with some people from ILO, and then I met with some people from Ministry of Labor and Skill Development, and I can see that there can be a big impact we can do in Ethiopia and whole of Africa. Africans, like, they are here for this conference, and everybody is passionate about how they can improve and how they can better the prospects for the youths. Like, I was there in the inaugural session, and there were a lot of ambassadors from different countries like Germany, Japan, China, and other places also. And then they are closely working with African Union, higher education departments, the basic education department, to shape the future. They want to skill the youths So youths are like who are going to shape the future of any country. So they are looking forward for technologies like AI, machine learning, AR, VR, IoT, renewable energies, for the students to be trained on them and then to be ready for the job market, and they can do wonders out there. So this was in nutshell, like this is what I heard about it.
Addis Ababa is now one of the best country, the best city in Africa. You know, my first visit at Addis Ababa is 26, I think. When I come back, 20 years before, I saw that the country have changed. The country is moving to become the industrialized country. Addis Ababa is coming the best city of Africa. I think it's what you want all of the country of Africa to move to become industrialized, like the European, like America, and like China. I think so you are in the good way. You want to encourage all of our governments to move in this way. It's the good way for our children.
The Industry and the Productive Sector Engagement Forum showcased how Africa private sector is a critical co-creator of the solution. Industry leaders highlighted the need for stronger and smart linkage between training institution and enterprise, the scaling up of work-based learning and apprenticeship and incentive for business investing in workforce development. Youth and women innovators presented groundbreaking initiatives underscoring Africa's untapped potential when the talent, nurture, and opportunity is equitable. The Youth Summit on Skill for Africa Industrialization emerged as a defining moment, reaffirming young African as a co-creator of continent transformation agenda. Their voices echoed throughout the week as a reminder that Africa's demographic development must be harnessed through valuable-based investment in creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Across all sessions, three cross-cutting impressive emerged. One is coherence and governance. The second is partnership, alignment, and accountability. The third is inclusion and innovation for equitable growth. The key outcomes and commitments are the deliberation of Africa Skill Week, created in a series of collective commitment and priority action at a continental, regional, and national levels. Implementation effects will integrate digital transformation and youth-led innovation component to ensure the continental TVET strategic guides align with the needs of digital economy. The first is implementation of continental TVET strategy 2025 to 2034. Member states committed to align national TVETs and skill development policy system with the continental strategy, including integration into national development plans and industrial strategy amid rapid AI-driven change and green transition.
On arrival, I was on a e-visa. So visa was an excellent service. It did not take me more than 10 minutes. My visa was done, and I was able to proceed. All our itinerary was arranged and arrived by Ethiopian Airlines, and significantly well serviced. A direct flight from Windhoek, Namibia to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. That makes the journey very easy, very accessible, and a route to consider for future, for investors, for all opportunities. It is endless opportunities that is offered through this route. Our experience, the hotels, the transfers is excellent service delivered on point, on time, and the traffic was really well managed throughout our stay thus far, and we appreciate this opportunity. The vibe in Addis Ababa is a vibe of opportunities. It's a vibe of development. When we look at how the city is transforming with buildings, old buildings into new buildings, that gives us the energy of the future, showcasing how is planned, how the Prime Minister is working excellently to deliver on the development of Addis Ababa and making it an international hub, a new destination for international relations.
I've been here many times. We have been closely working with a lot of universities like Gonda University, Mekelle, Addis Ababa University, Walaita Sodo. So we have been closely. Oh, beautiful. So I have been here for almost 15 years. We are working, and Ethiopia is our major hub for the equipment, and my engineers also travel for installation and commissioning of the equipments that we supply. One word, I will say it's fantastic. Yesterday, my experience to the Science Museum, the AI Museum, the Dome, and the Victory Memorial was fantastic. The kind of infrastructure which is developed by Ethiopia government, and even the road infrastructure, they have done it very nicely. The roads are nicely lit. They are just smooth and silky, and it's really wonderful. Like, it has, over the years, like, haven't seen high-rise buildings. Now I see everywhere, like Piazza and the areas where we went yesterday. It's just fantastic. There are three things, like one is infrastructure, that's United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 11. And then there is education, like United Sustainable Development Goal 4. So the government is closely working on both the goals to have a better infrastructure, to have, I can even see the rail connectivity, and I can see like a lot of improvements in the cars in the economy. Like earlier when I used to be there, they were not very well, but now I can see the electric cars, I can see all the top brands of the world like Volkswagen, like BYD, Chinese companies. I can see Hyundai. I can see some brands from India also, Maruti. So this is really, it's changing. The government and the people are really working closely in hands to each other to make it a better country. You feel like you're in Europe. So it's fantastic. Like other countries which I really admire is like Rwanda, the way they have done. And Ethiopia is coming close to it, being the headquarters of African Union. They are doing fantastic work, and of course, like you can't achieve 100%. There is always a scope for improvement, but definitely things are going to be better. One thing I can suggest is like the infrastructure development should be fast. Sometimes I see buildings, but when I come to the next visit, it's the buildings are done, it's fast. So, but there are more things to do, which the government is, I think, is on their agenda.
Participants endorsed the YAL's declaration on skills for industrialization as an integral annex to skills, an integral annex to this communique, and called for their implementation through YAL's engagement mechanism and annual review platform. The integration of informal and non-formal learning pathway was endorsed to recognize and upgrade the skill of informal economy workers. Member states will adopt gender-responsive policy that address barriers to women's participation in technical and industrial training. Africa Skills Week will continue to serve as a continental platform for policy dialogue, innovation, showcase, and accountability held annually in partnership with the host member states. Closing declaration. Participants of Africa Skill Week 2025 reaffirm their unwavering commitment to make it a powerhouse of the 21st century and Africans a continent where every citizen has a competency to contribute to the industrialization, transformation, innovation, and sustainable developments. Participants further express deep appreciation to the governments and people of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia for their warm hospitality and exemplary leadership in hosting this event, and all partners for their steady collaboration. The communique will be transmitted to the African Union policy organs, the Special Technical Committee and Education, Science and Technology, and shared with member states, regional economic communities and development partners for follow-up action and implementation. Adopted in Addis Ababa, Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia on 17 October 2025 at the close of Africa Skill Weeks 2025.
The second Africa Skills Week 2025 was a big event that took place in the headquarters of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. From the commencement of the week until its closure, it hosted various meetings, discussions, side events, pitch competitions that resulted in awards of financial prizes and quite a lot of issues like partnering among institutions. Ethiopia, as a host country, was praised to conduct the business as proper as possible with the other stakeholders, just anticipating the similar week of 2026.